You have the skills, you have the drive, but somehow you remain completely stuck. Imagine a perfectly engineered engine, fully fueled, but physically locked in place by a heavy stone block. Elton Euler, creator of the O Corpo Explica method, identifies this exact problem through his theory of permission. He argues that human growth relies on three distinct pillars: capacity, disposition, and permission. Your capacity provides the raw ability, and your disposition provides the motivation. But if you do not grant yourself the emotional clearance to actually step forward, that engine will never turn. You aren't trapped because you lack talent or energy. You are immobilized by a lack of internal permission. Often, this lack of permission stems from what Euler calls culpa illegittima, or illegitimate guilt. This occurs when you carry emotional weights and responsibilities that actually belong to someone else. This image of a wooden mannequin illustrates the effect perfectly. Those strings represent past events being used against you, allowing external forces and other people's emotional baggage to manipulate your present actions. Carrying this guilt acts as a misguided defense mechanism. It is an attempt to protect yourself from the improper use of the past at the direct cost of your own forward momentum. Your role is not to carry that burden, nor is it to guarantee that someone else takes it on. Your only job is to drop the weight that is not yours to hold. When you lack the permission to act, a specific symptom emerges: intellectual obesity. You endlessly consume information, gather new perceptions, and analyze problems, but you avoid making a final choice. Your intellectual insights become entirely decoupled from practical execution. The learning phase loops endlessly because doing something tangible requires the emotional permission you haven't granted yourself. Consuming more knowledge without applying it doesn't build momentum. It only adds density to the emotional block holding you back. To break this paralysis, the Alianza Divergente ecosystem relies on a specific metabolism called PDA: perception, decision, and action. This document outlines the exact workflow. First, you register a new perception. Then you are forced to make a concrete decision based on that insight, which must immediately trigger a physical action. This sequence is tracked in a tool called the marcapasos, or pacemaker. It acts as a strict ledger, requiring you to tie every abstract thought to a real-world step. By following this protocol, you stop operating as a passive collector of ideas and force your system to output actual results. Implementing this triggers the critical zone. This is the fragile window where you recognize a harmful pattern in your life but haven't yet committed to doing something about it. When you consciously attempt to change your positioning, the people and systems around you will react. If you waver here, you face the pre-fall, a swift retreat to the lowest behavioral step you previously tolerated. Escaping the cycle means making a decision and sustaining it over time, refusing to revert to the old baseline even when the system pushes back. Sustaining that level of resistance alone is highly prone to failure. You require a rational support structure, a tribe, which Euler built as the Alianza Divergente. This glossary text defines the specialized roles inside this ecosystem. Mentors provide experienced guidance through emotional barriers, while the amphitryon acts as a host to orient new allies and keep them engaged. Unlike the relationships that created your illegitimate guilt, these allies expect nothing from you. They provide a secure environment anchored in reason, completely free from emotional manipulation. This grid tracks your progress across the entire year. By measuring your proximity to your goals month by month, the Alliance ensures your trajectory remains visible and accountable. You maintain access to a rational port of call, so when you hit the critical zone, you have the external reinforcement needed to hold your ground. You shed the illegitimate guilt, convert your intellectual obesity into concrete decisions through the PDA Protocol, and anchor yourself in a supportive alliance. The heavy stone blocking your mechanism finally shatters. Your capacity and disposition were always present. True growth begins when you grant yourself permission to act.